the first time since the recent India-Pakistan tension, a crisis which lasted almost 10 days, I'm joined from London by former President of Pakistan, Pervez Musharraf. Thank you very much, General Musharraf, for joining us from London. Always a pleasure to talk to you, sir.
Thank you. You're welcome. Thank you very much.
You must have been noticing what has been going on between India and Pakistan. The relations have been on the boil, General Musharraf, since the beheading of the Indian soldier inside Indian territory. You have been President of Pakistan and also its army chief. Do you think, General Musharraf, that it was a mistake for the Pakistanis to have escalated matters on the border and then continued to play hardball diplomatically?
Well, frankly, I don't know the facts, but whoever is doing it, this situation is terrible, and escalating on the line of control, where we've had a very peaceful line of control at this time, should be totally unacceptable to both the governments. So I really don't know the reality. I mean, there are accusations from the Indian side, which I do hear, yes. But there are clarifications and counter-accusations from the Pakistani side. So I don't know the reality on ground. All that I would like to say is, peace must prevail and this must stop. No sane person would think that this escalation is in anyone's interest.
If that is the case, don't you find it completely surprising, General Musharraf, that an aggressive Pakistan has violated the ceasefire 117 times in 2012. How responsible is that, General Musharraf, in your view?
Again, now, this is what you are saying. I mean, I don't know the reality, I don't know the facts. I can't imagine that Pakistan has done this. If they have done it, yes, this is absolutely wrong. But there is a big if. What you are saying, if I was to go by what Indians are saying, or what your side is saying, well, that is terrible. But Pakistan, I don't know who could be wanting to escalate. I mean, Pakistan army is already involved all over Pakistan on the western border. I don't think the army, any leadership in the army would like to involve Pakistan army more and escalate on the line of control. So I don't accept this argument. It doesn't stand to logic.
Are you saying that any escalation, and General Musharraf, let me tell you, we have such detailed information, and none of this information has actually been factually contradicted by the Pakistanis, either the government or the army, not been factually contradicted. Are you saying, as the former President of Pakistan, that it is not in the interest of the Pakistan government or the Pakistan army to escalate matters at all with India?
Absolutely, I am saying that. Now, if there has not been any response from the Pakistan side, I am surprised and shocked. But however, I know for certain that it is not in the interest of the army or the government of Pakistan. But having said that, you haven't mentioned, did you mention the allegation of beheading of an Indian soldier? As far as that is concerned, let me say, if anyone has done it, if anyone has beheaded a soldier and sent a headless body, is the most terrible, wild act, inexcusable act. But I also believe, knowing Pakistan army, anyone who does that will be court-martialed, he will be punished more strongly. So I don't understand how any such an occurrence took place. I don't know what is the evidence available. Because on the line of control, when firing takes place, the entire line of control is bunkered, and there are trenches, they are not crawl trenches, they are walking trenches all along the line of control. So what has been happening in the past when we used to exchange fire was with snipers at long distances of 500, 600 yards, firing at each other and killing each other whenever an opportunity arose.
So, but
Now I can't imagine how this body got into the hands of the Pakistanis.
no, Mike,
Was this soldier
because the Pakistanis crossed the LOC. No, General Musharraf, it's simply because the Pakistanis violated the ceasefire and crossed into the line of control,
How?
well into the Indian territory,
No, I would like
in the Mendhar sector of Jammu and Kashmir.
No. Please understand, I don't believe, I don't know the facts, let me admit first of all, but I am working only on logic, and I am working on understanding what the Pakistani army does.
Yes.
I can't imagine that some soldiers went across the line of control,
Yes.
killed an Indian soldier,
Yes.
beheaded him and took his head away and left the body. I can't imagine, I just can't imagine any soldier doing this. He should be, if anyone has done it, the strongest punishment should be given to him.
Sir, let me remind you, because you're saying you were President of Pakistan in February 2000, and let me remind you, General Musharraf, there's a man called Ilyas Kashmiri, who's a dreaded terrorist commander, recently killed in an American drone attack. Now, there were reports then, and I'm talking about February 27, 2000, when you were the President of Pakistan, that an Indian sepoy was beheaded and his severed head was taken back into Pakistan-occupied Kashmir. Pakistani media, at that point of time, General Musharraf had reported that Ilyas Kashmiri paraded the head before senior generals, and in fact that he was felicitated and rewarded with 1 lakh rupees for bringing back the head of an Indian soldier. This was all over the Pakistani media in February 2000 when you were the President of Pakistan.
Let me tell you, this is most ridiculous. I totally reject it as malicious, anyone who's saying this.
This was the Pakistani media.
We are not that stupid. Nobody is that stupid. If Pakistani media said it, well, they have said a wrong thing, they are lying. That is what I can say. Nobody is that stupid here that somebody brings a head and you reward him with 1 lakh rupees. Please don't portray us like mad people. We are not mad people.
This was reported in the Pakistani media. General Musharraf, Pakistan always...
If anyone has done that, he is telling lies. I am 100% sure.
Well, according to the media, Ilyas Kashmiri led the guerrilla attack on the Indian post with 25 fighters, vastly outnumbering the Indians, and returned with the head of an Indian, which he presented to top army officials. Now, you may call it mad, but this is what was reported at that time. I have no reason to make it up.
Well,
General Musharraf,
I have Ilyas Kashmiri or anyone is not Pakistan Army, and we are not. They are Mujahideen groups who are working independently. They have public support, some of them, and that is what happens. But if anyone says that he brought back a head and then he was presented 1 lakh rupees by whom? By the army and the government? This is ridiculous. I don't believe it. This is absolutely wrong.
I would repeat again, this was reported extensively in the Pakistan media. My question to you, General Musharraf, is on a broader issue. You know, this, as expected in this case, Pakistan has denied any role in the death and the beheading of our soldier. And India is tired of these denials and deniability which have become part of the standard policy framework of every Pakistani government in power, with all respect, General Musharraf, including your own. You know, you spoke about Mujahideen. When you spoke in an interview in 2003, you said, and I have your quote, you said Kargil was a decision taken by the Mujahideen and we got involved because of the action by the Indian troops. You said that. Am I wrong? You said that.
Yes. 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 That is right.
If that is the case.
That is right. I said that.
If that is the case.
Mujahideen were there.
Yeah.
These Mujahideen are already, because of the freedom struggle in Kashmir, and you are not going into the root causes of the problem. I have always been saying, please go into the root cause. Address the root cause, and all these, you'll pull the carpet from under the rug from under their feet. These Mujahideen groups have public sympathy in Pakistan.
So you are saying...
Oh, we must understand what is happening.
No, no.
I mean, you've got extremists in India,
So
those who don't allow our cricket team to play.
So at what stage...
Those who want to kick out our hockey players.
Sir,
isn't this a very extremist view?
Sir, you say it was a decision taken by the Mujahideen. Now we know that the names of Pakistanis who died in Kargil is tucked away in a list of thousands of personnel killed while on duty, posted in the Shuhada's corner of the Pakistani Army website. The very first page of that includes the names of Captain Karnal Sher and Havildar Lalak Jan, both killed on duty on 7 July 1999 and awarded Pakistan's highest military award, the Nishan-e-Haidar. You see, you must, General Musharraf, there is an absence of consistency when you talk about Mujahideen. At the same time...
What consistency are you talking of? Listen, I've written a book and explained everything. The whole Kargil episode started with the Mujahideen. But do you know that your 2 aircraft came into Pakistan and bombed us, and then they were shot down? Do you know that? Do you remember that? Now that was before the Kargil conflagration. That was because in taking action against the Mujahideen, the 2 jets came across into Pakistan.
Why did you make the admission in 2003? Why did you make the admission in 2003?
That is how...
Why did you make the admission in 2003?
That is how... Hold on. Hold on. Now when I'm talking, please don't interfere. Please don't interrupt when I'm talking. Now that is what happened, and that led to the involvement of second line forces. The army was not there. It is the second line force, the NLI. NLI is now a part of the army. Previously it was the second line force, like the Rangers, like the Frontier Corps.
Sir, I am sorry.
So they were the ones who were involved, and Lalak Jan belongs to that force, to the NLI.
Sir, let me tell you...
And so was Karnal Singh.
Sir, let me tell you, General Musharraf.
Yes.
There is one thing with General Musharraf you will understand, that facts cannot be questioned. Now I will present 2 facts to you to contradict you on this, and I want to know from you what your answer is to that. Foreign Minister was Sartaj Aziz, if I am not mistaken. And since we are talking Kargil and we are settling this issue of Mujahideen versus forces,
listen now.
Sartaj Aziz said...
I want to set the record. First of all, this interview is not on Kargil. If you want to talk on Kargil, I want to talk of East Pakistan first. What your answer?
Sir, I have one question on to settle the Kargil issue.
And how Indira Gandhi promoted Manik Shah as Field Marshal, and how she said that her greatest achievement is to disprove the two-nation theory. I will Musharraf from there. So stop discussing Kargil.
So General Musharraf,
I have to discuss that. Then we come to Siachen.
No, one question on Kargil.
No more questions on Kargil.
One question on Kargil.
Pakistan. We talk of East Pakistan.
Can I have one question on Kargil?
Otherwise, cut it out.
One question? Will you allow me?
No, nothing more. We've discussed enough. No, I don't answer any question on Kargil, because what I see about you Indians is the problem that you will call us rogues, but what the roguish acts that you do, you don't want to discuss it. Now cut that out. I don't take that.
General Musharraf, in November 2010, I'm not talking about Kargil, but I'm moving to 2010 now. Okay. Though I had a question on Kargil, you have not allowed me. I placed my objection to you, are not allowed me on record, and we move on.
When I was in Delhi just now on Hindustan Times invitation, there I said, if you keep getting bogged down in history, you can never move forward.
Yes.
There is a problem with India, sir, that you create hysteria. Sir, you create hysteria in the politicians, the media.
General Musharraf.
Such a hysteria, even on this issue of the line of control violations, you are creating hysteria.
General Musharraf, I object to that.
Don't do that.
General Musharraf, with all respect to you, we are a lot of nationalistic Indians who object to that. When your soldiers are beheaded, you will object. But I would only say one thing in response to you. This is
you are telling lies. Okay, let me with confidence. I think you are telling lies. I think you are doing it with some design. Nobody beheads. No soldier gets. No enemy is beheaded by any Pakistani soldier. It is not done. This is not our culture. This is not what armies, disciplined army does. Anybody who does that will
So you are taking a
severely in the Pakistan
So
army.
you are taking a
Therefore,
position.
nobody dare do that.
So you are taking a position.
You are believing what your soul.
Sir, you are taking, so, General Musharraf, you are taking a position in the complete absence of facts, which as you yourself acknowledged, you don't have the full facts on this case, but I only like to say you talk about history and hysteria. General Musharraf, those who forget history are condemned to repeat it, as the cliche goes. In November 2010, acknowledging that the Lashkar-e-Toiba and like-minded groups like the Jamaat-ud-Dawa were involved in terrorism, former Pakistan President Pervez Musharraf said these outfits need to be reined in, but in a gradual manner. In other words, you have yourself admitted that the Jamaat-ud-Dawa and the Lashkar-e-Toiba are terror groups. How do they then operate with complete impunity on Pakistani soil? Does the Pakistan army need a reality check on who the real enemy is, General Musharraf?
Can you? Yes, they are. They are involved. If they are involved, they should be punished. And then now, as I have explained every time, they have sprouted because of the freedom struggle in Kashmir in 1989. They came into being in the 90s because of great public support for the Kashmiri freedom struggle. That is what happened. But however, taking action against them, yes indeed, gradually extremism and terrorism needs to be controlled in Pakistan.
Sir,
Can you take action against your own extremists and terrorists in Bombay? Could you have done
They
that?
were sent from Pakistan.
Can you do that?
As you are fully aware, General Musharraf, they were sent by a coward called Hafiz Saeed in Pakistan, who's operating with impunity. And you said about Hafiz Saeed, and I quote you, and as I said, General Musharraf, I am a man who goes by quotes. In November 2012, presumably when you were in Delhi, you said, and you were quoted as saying, Lashkar-e-Toiba enjoys tremendous public support in Pakistan, and it will not be easy for the government to take action against them. My question to you, sir, is, even if a group of terrorists enjoy public support, it is the bounden responsibility of any civilized government to act against them. Your governments or your army cannot be weak when it comes to terrorists. That cannot be an alibi.
Can you listen? Don't simplify matters. One understands, yes, what I said is correct, and one should take action in a deliberate way. Could you have taken action? Can you take action against Bal Thakre's group? Can India take action? Aren't they extremists?
Sir, you are...
Can you take action?
Sir, you are completely... Sir, you see...
challenge the Indian government to eliminate
No,
them.
sir, may I remind you, I don't want to get into those details, but I would like to remind you that your government...
Obviously.
No, I'll get into every detail.
Is there an internal situation?
General Musharraf, I don't hesitate from going into detail. And I'd like to tell you, it was your government which said under UN resolutions we will act against the Lashkar-e-Toiba. I'd also like to remind you, sir, that the recent Pakistan Army Green Book, you're an army man, you know. My question was, your problem is within. The Army Green Book, and you know the Pakistani Army better than anyone else, suggests for the first time that internal threats and not India should be a priority. This is a long due acknowledgement, but when will this India obsession end, General Musharraf, even when it's been put in writing?
India obsession. And when will Pakistan obsession end in India? May I ask you?
Yes. When you stop exporting terror and beheading our soldiers.
Don't try to pin me down on these things. Now let me tell you that yes, there is a, when I said internal, that doesn't mean that the external threat. If today you escalate on the line of control and then do whatever you did in East Pakistan or Siachen, then certainly our focus will go to the shift from internal threat to the external threat from the outside. Obviously, things don't remain permanent. Situation, you take action, you take decisions in accordance with the environment. Today the environment is that there is a domestic internal threat on Pakistan. So therefore we need to look at terrorism and extremism internally. But as the things are escalating in the line of control, and if India tries to take advantage of this escalation and tries to impose a strong external threat, we will divert, Pakistan Army will divert all its attention to the external threat from India. That is how things change.
So you are a realist. You are a realist. You know what has happened on this side.
Yes, yes.
So you know that a strong army, a strong India, and with the support of the rest of the international community, has outstared Pakistan in this face-off. And now there is an embarrassed attempt by Pakistan to retreat. This goes on to prove, and now I would like to call upon Pervez Musharraf, the president and the statesman. Pervez Musharraf ji, does this not just go on to prove that realistically, besides the rhetoric, Pakistan cannot afford to engage India aggressively at this stage? You've had to retreat this time.
Obviously, that is the logic. No, there is no retreat. I don't think there is any retreat. I think it is a clarification. I think logic, as I understand, it is not possible that Pakistan army is trying to escalate. And I think there is a propaganda, and I think there is a design behind whatever is happening.
Whose design? Kiani's design? General Kiani's design?
Your design.
I thought it was General Kiani's design to maintain his relevance.
No, I think it is your army's design. No, I don't think so. These are all cooked up stories which you say that to maintain its relevance, the army, Pakistan army, to maintain its relevance, keeps Kashmir issue alive. This is all nonsense. This is absolute nonsense.
General
Musharraf. That is not the case. Pakistan army believes that we must resolve disputes with India.
General Musharraf.
Army believes that we have to resolve the Kashmir dispute.
General Musharraf, you as a general, army chief, and then as a politician and president, have been known for your aggressiveness. And I can see that aggression on this interview as well.
Yeah.
Now you have labeled Qadri's protest a success and said the time is ripe in Pakistan for change. You have said, and I'm quoting you, that change would have become the order of the day if I had been in place of General Kiani. Are you saying that it is time for the Pakistani army to take over? Are you advocating another coup in Pakistan?
Now listen, now don't distort my words. Don't stop distorting.
So these are your words.
Now you have said that I said that change would have been order. I never said those words, the last part. First part, yes, change is due. Change towards better politics. But don't involve anyway. I refuse to answer questions from your side about internal situation of Pakistan.
Why is that?
You have no concern? Please keep that out.
Why is that? The internal situation of Pakistan impacts the region as well.
Why have you not allowed our hockey players? Why are you kicking out our singers? Why are you doing that?
Sir, because as you understand the depth of the sentiment in India,
what kind of democracy are you running?
Sir, the anger has tipped over.
What kind of relations are you trying to maintain with your neighbors?
Sir, the anger has tipped over.
You tell me that. Give me the answer for that.
The anger has tipped over, Pervez Musharraf, and you know that.
Well, anger... You are escalating. You are trying to escalate, and I think there is a malicious design behind whatever you are doing.
General Musharraf, I want to ask you one more question. In January 2012, you said you would return to Pakistan later that month. You said, I'm not scared of returning, and whatever charges have been leveled against you, I will face. A year has passed, but Pervez Musharraf has not set foot on Pakistani soil. Are you returning to Pakistan? And give me an unequivocal and clear answer. Are you returning? When are you returning? Are you going to participate in the elections, or will you remain in London? Don't dodge this question and say I have no right to ask you that question.
I will be... No, I'll give you that right. I will return. I've said it 110 times. I won't give the date. I will participate in elections. I have said this also 110 times. I repeat. But date, I will decide. I haven't decided as yet, but certainly before the elections.
General Pervez Musharraf, I have just one question to ask you, and I am requesting you now. Don't tell me I won't take a question because it's Kargil. I am asking you a humanitarian question. And I have been wanting to ask you this question for the last 4 or 5 months, ever since the father of Captain Saurabh Kalia, who is a martyr in Kargil, came on my program. I don't know if you've heard of Captain Saurabh Kalia, You said recently you don't regret the Kargil operation.
No.
So 6 Indian soldiers, including Captain Saurabh Kalia, were brutally mutilated in the summer of 1999. Their eardrums were pierced with hot rods, their bodies were burnt with cigarettes, their eyes were punctured, their teeth were broken, their skull was fractured, their lips were cut, their noses were chipped off. I cannot tell you, sir, what happened. I am asking today, Pervez Musharraf, the soldier, that was this the right way in which to return a soldier's body? He was an Indian soldier who gave up his life fighting for our army, for our nation. Would you say you would regret what has happened to Captain Saurabh Kalia?
This is now, I'm getting worked up, but I'm controlling myself.
Yes, sir.
This is nonsense, it is lies, it is fabrication, it is trying to portray Pakistan and Pakistan army in the worst. This is what is done, and this is a game that you always play. This is untrue. This is absolute lies. Indian army may do these things, Pakistan army does not do these things.
Well, I think you've given me an answer, and I know, as you said, you don't want to take further questions on that. But General Musharraf, therefore...
Because I know that you people are always trying to portray, you want to let down Pakistan army, you want to let down ISI, but you want to cover up your RAW. What RAW did in East Pakistan? They have divided half our country.
They were in...
What you are doing in Siachen, you don't want to talk about.
So their bodies were handed over by the Pakistan army.
Kargil.
Captain Saurabh Kalia's body was returned by the Pakistan army. He was in captivity for 22 days.
If we were to hand over bodies, mutilate, are we mad to do that?
He was in captivity for 22 days.
Hand over such mutilated bodies to you, why wouldn't we just deny that they are not there?
Sir, he was captured.
Are we that mad?
He was captured.
You cook up these things. Your army cooks up these things and portrays Pakistan army in bad light through your media.
Sir,
by cooking up, and maybe the father of this officer was also brought and briefed.
Sir,
I object. In the media.
Sir, I object.
Pakistan army is put in the as a rogue army.
Sir,
now stop doing this. Our army does not do this.
Sir, I object to what you've said, but you have your right to have your view, and I have a right to put my question, but I want to say this.
You may keep objecting, but I know that these are realities.
Well, realities...
I know that how your media is handled to portray, to project Pakistan, to undermine Pakistan army, undermine ISI, that is what you people do. It is your intelligence which does that.
Sir, let me tell you.
It is anyone's intelligence. A lot of countries
do
these things, and you do this in a very
I don't know what
you portray to the public of India these things.
I don't know what perspective you have of the media. The Indian media is far more free and independent for that. But at this point of time, the Indian media also is reflecting the mood of the nation. General Musharraf, you've given me straight answers. I disagree with many of your answers, but you have not dodged my questions, except I would have liked to put more detailed questions on Kargil to you, which I hope at one time later we will get that opportunity. But for taking my questions from London, live on Times Now, General Pervez Musharraf,